topic that we were going to bring up this episode was how we see nutrition and eating.
Oh,
as a Gen Xer is a millennial and some kind of time god. Do you guys remember the food pyramid from when we were kids?
Yes.
Okay, what was the fucking deal with the bottom where they were like, all right, you need to eat 11 servings of bread every day?
It was written by the Italian mafia.
Yeah, did you guys trust that? Like everything sounds in order.
I mean, we did like a little like play when I was about like 6 or 7 about like the food pyramid, and then like you'd have the kids in the groups for like all the different food groups and stuff.
Yeah.
And like I was in the bread group, and I love bread, but 11, like Jesus. Dude.
So
we all know,
Alice, because I'm way older than you.
Mm-hmm.
When I was probably the same age, we had the 4 food groups, which, if you look at pizza, it's the 4 food groups: dairy, cheese, right? Meat, the pepperoni, fruits and vegetables, the tomato sauce, right?
Obviously.
And then
like
the bread,
and onions and tomato sauce. There's onions. There's oregano.
There's like
Yeah.
Pizza's in the 4 food groups. That's super not a healthy choice. I do worship pizza though. I love pizza, but it's not healthy. It's not health food.
Like the key to pizza being healthy is you add a side of vegetables, which are called French fries, and that way you have the proper.
By the time I think of like my and Cole's time, which is all time, is that they had split fruits and veggies into their own thing. So
that's
like
good. Exactly.
Bread on the bottom,
better choice.
Fruits, veggies, meat, dairy, and then whatever the fuck the top part is, which is like don't go up there.
So Allie's kind of a little bit about me. I was a latchkey kid, and my childhood was covered in high fructose corn syrup. Like I only
hell yeah,
I only ate high fructose corn syrup as the main ingredient of all. You know, it's all pre-made, like microwavable or pre-made in a package. Like I only ate bad food, and that caused a lot of health problems. So I got like kind of a catastrophic diagnosis in my teens. And then I was like, I'm such a I'm not going to be disabled champion person that I changed my diet, became vegan, did yoga and Tai Chi, quit everything else but yoga and Tai Chi. And I basically reversed the diagnosis. Nice. So I went from super unhealthy child to superhuman adult. Even in my 40s, I'm healthier than most people in their 20s. And so by the time I had kids, I wasn't giving them bread as 11 servings. You know what I mean? I had just keto kids, basically.
You and I had reversed childhoods because I was raised by a Santa Monica hippie. No red meat, like chicken and fish. Don't eat too much bread, veggies, fruit, all that stuff. And because when I went to college in Riverside, which is Inland Empire.
Right.
People coming from all over California. I was introduced to a lot of gross food as a college kid, and I love it. And so you and I had a flip flop.
Yeah, you just started
because I was so sheltered. Yeah, pretty much. I was so
You're just
sheltered.
Slip and sliding down mayo. That was your.
The only exception is that I like turkey bacon more than regular bacon.
Ew! What the fuck did you just say?
Yeah, turkey bacon.
That's why no one likes you, Alice. That is exactly why no one likes you. Listen, it's just turkey strips. Just call them turkey strips. We all know they're turkey strips. No one believes they're
still not good. Still not going to be good.
So
I remember when we drank mead instead of water because the water would kill you. So I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah, so for me it was I was a sickly child, a very sick child. So just to have fake cheese instead of real cheese and not have a headache anymore, I'm like, that's great. That's a fair trade. But I could see why you're backwards is oh no. Now you're just do it to me, donut, right? You're
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, because it was just the first time you're out of the house and I'm an adult, no one can stop me, right? And they're like, we're going to the fucking In-N-Out at 2 a.m, and I was like, anything but Santa Monica seafood for the 80,000th time.
White Castle.
Hilarious.
Okay.
Yeah,
I remember being like just having turned 19, we would go to a club. After the club, we'd hit up a Burger King, and I would get a double Whopper, heavy all, which means double all the toppings, with a poutine, okay, and a large strawberry shake, okay. It's like 6,000 calories, okay, and I'm like, delicious. I'm like, maybe I should get a second Whopper. They're like, I don't think you need a second Whopper. I'm like, nah, okay.
Oh my gosh.
And yeah, no, but at the same time, like back then, I was also working out and stuff. Like when I was in high school, I squatted. Oh God, it was 640 pounds. Like I was a huge, just a massive, strong kid. But then essentially, being an adult happened. You're like, oh, that's horrible.
They sell poontang at the concessions in Canada. You can eat it at the restaurant.
He said poutine, not poontang. Like you're
What's the difference?
Okay. You don't know what fucking poutine is.
Very little.
I know it is. I know it is.
Very little
cheese and fries. I know.
Okay. All right. Good. All right. I was gonna pee my pants right there. That was
the amount of joy on Atlas's face when he thought you didn't know what poutine was like.
I was a sous chef. I know the fuck fries and cheese and gravy.
Okay, good. Oh my god. The fact that I'm still getting joy from it, even though that's not what the case was.
Listen.
I got joy from an alternate universe, basically.
Yeah. Just the remote possibility that there was someone who didn't know what poutine is. Anyways, yeah. It's horrible. But
actually, so Orchid, when you said your childhood was covered with high fructose corn syrup, did you know that the new Coke campaign in the 80s was to mask the change from cane sugar to corn syrup?
Sounds true. True.
We never actually got old Coke back.
Yeah,
because it was the switch from.
Well, now it's called Mexican Coke. You can get Mexican Coke with
it's still not
sugar.
the same. It's
close.
Still not that good. It has to be a glass bottle. It's key.
Yeah, the Mexican Coke is glass bottle with the cane sugar.
With the cane sugar instead of corn syrup.
Here they just put a green label. They're like, oh, it's done with cane sugar. You're like, it's not. You guys are full of shit.
Yeah, I don't currently drink soda that much. Like that's a luxury sometimes item.
I keep getting these ads for like the don't vape ads. Like that's metal in your lungs, like that shit. I need I need this.
That's metal in your lungs.
Thank you. I need like this is your endocrine system on soda. Like some of that shit. Like that would probably work on me better because I don't smoke or vape or anything like that. So
yeah, well, I mean, maybe.
Okay. There's so many horrible things that we eat on a daily basis that you're like, oh, you know what? Just read a little, not even a lot, just a little about what certain foods do to you, and like you go, oh, none of this is good for me. Great, good to know.
Ignorance is bliss, my friend.
So when I was like a late teen, all I wanted to be was a really hot old lady. So I looked at like my ballet teachers and my different dance teachers, and I'm like, they're in their 50s, they look great, and so that was like I just am very dedicated.
Well, when you get old, you will be hot. One of these days.
She doesn't age. She's a sorceress, obviously.
I like how you implied that she's not hot now. Like,
yeah, I know that.
I didn't say she wasn't. I was just saying she's not old.
I know. I'm just fucking with you.
Cole is negging me right now.
By accident. I suffer from foot and mouth disease real bad. So
Cole, can't you just tell me I have nice tits like a gentleman? You don't need to neg me. Okay?
We don't do that in our generation. We don't do that anymore.
Negging?
No,
the tits thing.
They do. They're called incels. Those are the people who are still negging.
God.
I've been called that a lot recently.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah.
Oh, people are
just see my Twitter. I love it.
Honestly, we should just put you in charge of the Generation Dan Twitter because you're like way better at it than Dino or I.
Oh,
so.
I'm horrible. Yeah. I was thinking of giving him the Generation Dan
login
Instagram as well because it's just
If you can make it work, go for it, man.
I just talk shit. That's it. That's all. Just talk shit. Whatever goes to your whatever comes to your mind, just say it. Just say the thing. Just get rid of that filter. Boom. You have Twitter and Instagram.
Oh, he is well suited for this kind of thing because
Yeah, I can't live like that. I was born from a time that people threw hands. It just doesn't
Inhibitions.
work for me.
Inhibitions, man.
I was born in a house where everything I said was wrong, so it's hard.
Oh,
like,
no.
that thing is.
I did too.
Did you have two moms, Atlas?
I had
one mom.
my mom, my
No.
older sister, and my parents were divorced, and my dad was usually off doing something else, like work.
Okay, so it was like the equivalent of two women.
The equivalent of two moms, yeah.
Correcting you all the time. Yeah.
But Orchid, to this day, his mom just talking to him, like, literally sends everything off the charts.
Oh yeah, I was in the
mean?
hospital. I was in the hospital last year where they did like a test with the nodes and they can read your brainwaves. And every time she came in, the doctors were coming and being like, "Are you okay? Like your shit's going crazy." Like,
whoa.
Yeah, so she like stresses me out on a molecular level. It's,
wow.
Yeah.
That's believable. Yeah.
Oh yeah. At this point, you're like, I feel like every parent everywhere has now like damaged them in some way. Like we're like, we've really, I think on a grand scale, have just messed up on everything at this point. You're like, oh, kids, those are messed up.
Isn't
environment?
Just,
dude, I just actually
try not to mess them up best you can, but it's gonna happen.
I just made so much peace with my parents recently, like maybe even in the last 6 months. So can I answer a question before you ask it?
What the craziest set you had, or like okay, yeah, fuck it, let's throw it in there.
You want to throw it in there?
Yeah, let's do it now. So being that you are a comedian like the other three of us, what is a memorable set you've had? Good, bad, weird? Otherwise?
Okay, so this is a crazy story. So I just shot an hour special just like last month, just like a whole hour special.
Hey, congrats!
Awesome.
Thank you. And so I did the full like Netflix specs, right? So I had 4K cameras, like 3 4K cameras, and then I had one 6K camera on the audience, so I could crop for different faces.
Yep.
And the crazy thing was, I can see my ex-boyfriend that I talk about in my jokes in high def, responding to my joke, and I got to see my dad's response. So like. So most people in the audience, I expected kind of just my close friends and family to show up, right? Mm-hmm. But it turned out a lot of the people I didn't know at all. So like that's a weird feeling to like
be successful as a comedian and have people show up. Yeah.
Oh yeah, to have it was like 50 strangers and 10 people I knew in a room. And so that was it was awesome, and it was weird because anyone listening who's not a comedian, it's setup, punchline, right? Setup, punchline. So while I was telling the jokes, the setup would get such a big laugh, I forgot my punchline like 3 times. I know, isn't that a great problem to have?
Yes,
that the setup gets such a good.
I've had that happen.
In some ways, it sucks because like it's once you record a joke, you can't really tell it again, right? So some of my jokes have really clever punchlines that will just never be told. That's sad, but at the same time, what a great feeling.
Yeah.
So I had like a room of like 60 people laughing so hard, right, at my jokes that I'd forget a punchline. And you know the difference between like playing a keyboard, like a piano keyboard that's electric versus a piano, like when you play a piano, like the vibration goes through your body, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Doing an audience of like a sold out show with like standing room only in the back, everyone laughing, it was so like energizing in my body. I didn't sleep for like 2 days. Like it was so intense to have that many. So that was the most magical thing. But one of the things is like back to my parents, like I didn't feel like my parents understood me for most of my life. Like my mom's incredibly stoic. She's incredibly stoic. And one of the reasons I became a comic is I was trying to crack her. I was trying to crack that frown, right? Like I'm just trying to make my mom laugh. And then my dad, we had the weirdest relationship. Like he actually called me a slut in front of my boyfriend's parents when I was like 15 years old. Like, that is a crazy thing to do, right?
In
like
anger, or was he like, this slut over here?
So my boyfriend's parents were, like, very religious. My family was very religious. So his parents came to my parents' house and said to my parents, hey, we just want to let you know we're going to go on vacation for the weekend, so don't let the kids be at our house. Because we're not going to be there to supervise them, right? We're, 15 years old, right? And my dad,
that's smart of them. Interesting.
And my dad's response to the religious parents was, "Oh, it's not him you're going to have to worry about. It's her." Which
Jesus
was like,
Christ.
I know! That is a psychotic...
Way to throw your kid under the bus.
Right.
Yeah! And I was celibate. I didn't swear. I was very goody two-shoe teenager. Like, I just, I was super goody two-shoe. And for him to say that was crazy. But then my sister, he would give every man or every boy that took her on a date, like, the shotgun speech. Like, you better be good to my daughter, or else, But for me, he would not even shake my prom date's hand. Like, he was so, it was weird. But then, fast forward to age 42, I'm making terribly dirty jokes.
Yeah.
And my dad is laughing the hardest. It's just like, we came full circle. You know what I mean? Like, we made peace.
It's so weird.
So I can see in perfect high definition my dad laughing really hard at the dirtiest jokes. I'm talking about sitting on guys' faces and stuff like that and stand up.
Listen, but that's a fantastic reward. Honestly, how could you not feel
yeah?
If it was just that kind of a crowd where everyone was laughing is great, but then it's plus them.
Yeah, plus my ex-boyfriend and plus my brother and plus my dad are all in the audience, and I could close up on their face laughing or not, And then a week later, my dad texted me and he's told me one of his coworkers is my fan. I don't know her, but he's yeah, one of my coworkers came to your special and was she's your fan, and he's all the way in Huntington Beach. I live in LA, so I'm that's amazing. That I have a fan, but that I had 50 organic fans who just saw me at mics and wanted to come to my taping.
Mm-hmm.
So that's magical.
So exciting. And where's it being released and when?
Well, right now I'm packaging it to sell to Netflix. So maybe Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, Peacock. Awesome. So I'm assembling a team of, PR, lawyers, agents. So let me know if you want to hook me up, guys. If you know of anybody who's in that kind of...
Alice might know some people. He knows everybody.
What? Yeah, hook me up, man.
She's the person that I knew. I'm trying to...
Well, I told you he knew everybody.
No, I'm trying to be my spirit animal, the parasitic lamprey, and attach myself
to that, me?
So that, yes, to you, so I can...
Alice, why do you think I'm doing this show?
I would love to take you where I'm going, Atlas. Anytime. I'll take you as far as I go. But yeah, I feel like I'm at this about to break point, honestly. I'm about to be
badass.
Really. Yeah, thank you.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
It's a huge listen. That's the thing is it's hard enough to be just functioning in society, right? Then it's then to be good enough to be regarded as a professional in any role is a great thing. But then you're oh wait, you can make people laugh? Oh, hold on. That stops people from jumping off buildings. I think you kind of one up it, and that's that's not everybody. It doesn't work. You can't say do a flip and then go fuck you guy. It doesn't it doesn't work that
that's
way.
Wasn't that a Futurama thing?
Yeah.
Where someone's gonna jump and then bend it. Do a flip. Yeah.
Which every time, right? That's
I feel like you're handling it pretty well though, Orchid, because if I ever get famous, I'm gonna forget who my mother is. So
you're gonna what?
I'll forget who my mother is if I ever get famous.
No,
you're handling very well.
So Cole, it's so lovely because my mom will babysit anytime I do stand up. She'll drive from Orange County an hour away and babysit my child. And it's kind of just really think about the context. I'm Mom, can you babysit my child so I could live my dreams of telling dick jokes for a living? You know what I mean? It's kind of funny. Yeah. Especially religious conservative parents from Orange County. And my dad actually comes and watches me. So that is I feel so supported by my parents. And I didn't feel that way as a teenager. As a teenager, I won academic competitions. I won athletic awards. I won music awards. And I felt like they were permanently unimpressed. My parents were just tiger mommed the crap out of me. They were never impressed. I kept winning all these awards and they were just and? But now they're just I feel super supported. So
This
yeah,
is up.
I'm almost like meeting them for the first time.
I think like how you know your parents as an adult. There's like a moment when you're like, I don't know, 22 or something, where your parents are like, all right, here's all the shit that I was keeping from when you were a kid. Like when I was 22, I had this dinner with my dad, and he told me all the stuff that I like wanted answers to, and also things like, this is what happened when I did mushrooms for the first time. And you're like, oh, okay, cool. Like,
that's so
anytime
funny.
I complained to my mom about something that happened when I was a kid, she's like, I was blowing coke. What do you expect? I was like, that actually checks out. Actually, that makes a lot more sense.
Well,
you remember when I didn't show up to your soccer game? It's because I was having a panic attack. You're like, oh, cool.
So I actually feel more, not that I've grown up and accepted my parents. I feel like my parents have actually grown up. You know what I mean? Like they're in their 60s now.
Yeah.
When they're in 20s and 30s, they didn't know what they're doing.
100%.
Yeah.
Like I'm the youngest of 5. So when my mom had me, she was 32. But at the same time, like, so I had a whole different experience than all the rest of my siblings. And it was the same thing where it was a very strict household and everything. I brought home 2 A's, the first 2 A's I'd ever done in my entire life. Grade 9, my dad, this is midterm. He looks at it, goes, you can do better. Never again. Never again. I told him in front of my wife, and I said, yeah, that's why. And he goes, oh, why didn't you tell me? I go, oh, because you were someone could come and have a normal conversation with when I was that age. And my mom spit out her food and started laughing. And I go, comedy, hey, let's gotcha. No, but like that was the whole thing. He's like, okay, maybe you have a point. I'm like, yeah, okay, now we're all adults.
Did he say sorry? Did he say sorry?
Yeah, like he passed away a couple years ago. It was devastating, but we ended up like it was. He loved me, I loved him. Weird stuff happened, but we're good.
You made peace before he died. That's great. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I feel like Gen Xers were like the first set of people, though, because everybody before that was just a bunch of cavemen trying to survive after Vietnam and World War II and the Depression, the Civil War and Cowboy era and all that shit. You know what I mean? You guys are the first people. Y'all are the first civilized set of people. So
I can't wait that when the border opens and I can come across, because I'm just gonna love smacking you in the face when we're doing a live podcast. Just jackass. No,
seriously, but if you want to make this happen, I will fly to the Midwest or to Canada.
I'll fly you to the Midwest, guy. I don't give a shit.
I'll tape it. We can do it live. We can make a whole thing of it. Sell tickets.
Yeah.
I'm a whore. You don't understand. So
listen. It just makes sense, right? It's just well, vote correctly. What are you gonna do? That's bring down that border.
My passport.
Yeah, well, I don't think you need that for within. Don't worry, you'll be fine.
So I got booked in a couple shows in Toronto, and I was so excited. I bought a plane ticket, and then I suddenly realized my passport expired during the pandemic. And I tried really hard to get a new one, but I would have had to fly to El Paso, Texas to get an appointment, like the only appointment available. And then it just
El Paso.
Yeah, so I just had to be like, no, and I didn't get to do those shows. So I got a passport specifically to go to Canada, and I still haven't gone yet. So I gotta make this happen.
Let me know if you do come to Canada, because I will totally come to your show. You're hilarious.
So sweet. Oh, thank you.
Cleveland too. If you're in Cleveland, let me know. And,
dude, I will just make
tell
the
you
plan
before
to see
she'll tell
you.
me.
Yeah, just tell me you want me to come over. I'll book some shows just for you two. Okay, guys? Because
I'll pay for the hotel. So.
You're what?
What?
Yeah, so I'm doing New York at the end of this month. I'm doing Texas in December. Awesome. So I would love to put you guys on my tour. I'd love to do Cleveland and where in Canada are you, Dino?
Toronto.
Oh, you're in Toronto. Okay, cool. I'm planning on I was talking to somebody about a corporate show he's booking, so I was maybe going to do that soon.
I am not on any sort of radar of anyone in anything. Like, there are some people who know who I am, but not really. Yeah, no.
He's a legendary recluse.
But I've only been doing comedy. Started doing comedy. Like, I was a real person before. So
what'd you do before?
I was a financial planner.
You
Okay,
fucking
okay.
devil. He's the devil. He was the devil.
You hate money? Do you hate money, Cole?
No, he was a banker.
I was
ruined this country.
I was a banker to wealthy people. It was delicious.
He
You know
was
all
a
those
fucking
fees that
devil.
I don't.
my clients didn't pay for that. Why would they
I
pay for that?
am
They're
not.
rich.
I am not like other comics. I don't hate money. I actually like money. I'm like.
Oh, I don't hate money. I hate the wealthy. There's a difference.
Yeah.
I just hate
Once I become wealthy, that'll go away. But
No, you'll probably still hate yourself.
well,
Oh,
I mean
yeah,
that's
first.
before the wealth. Already, that's probably just gonna boil. Like that's just something that's gonna cross over.
If you ever become a billionaire, that's when we eat you. You can be a millionaire, but billionaire is a policy failure.
Yeah. Sometimes when I do open mics, I'm in a room full of totally broke comics, and I'll be like, "Oh, so when I lived in Ireland, oh wait, have you guys been to Ireland?" And then I'm like, "None of you world travel. Am I the rich asshole in the room?" Sorry. So yeah,
I have a house in Greece. It's so good.
You went to Greece?
No, I have a house in Greece.
Oh yeah, exactly. I'm totally into a house in Greece.
Here's me at my house on my couch cooking dinner. I'm like, it's great.
Yeah,
and we're
just
like, fuck you. And I'm like, yeah.
I've traveled the country a lot. I don't know if that counts.
It does.
No,
America.
I don't hate wealthy people. I don't hate wealthy people. I
don't know any wealthy people, so it's easy for me to hate them. So that's how poor I am. I don't know any wealthy people.
So there's like the most millionaires per capita in Los Angeles. So it's hard not to know a wealthy person. Mm-hmm. Just like even being a millionaire, you don't get that much stuff. Like it's hard to live here.
That's not a lot. Listen, the best part, if you win $1 million, leave the city. That's immediately. Just bounce, okay? Because it's just not enough money. But
if you move to Cleveland, Orchid, with $1 million, I will be your personal maid.
Please dress up as a maid. Please.
I think you want to be my maid. I think you want to be my maid already. You want to be my maid already.
I mean, I'm trying. I'm shooting my shot here, so just kind of covering it up.
I gotta get a gif of Lin-Manuel Miranda going, "I'm not throwing away my shot," or
just for him every time. It's hilarious. It's fantastic.
All right.
What are we gonna do now? Like,
did you want to do our last question, or you guys have to wrap up in an hour?
That was the last question.
That was the last question. No, you've been a fantastic guest, Orchid.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being actually a good conversationalist, because we've had people who are like, I don't know what to do. And you're like, just
dude, I've had so much fun. Have me back anytime.
Definitely.
I'm into it.
You're not gonna have the time. Good luck.
Where can people find you and follow you and all that good stuff?
A good place to see my schedule is on Instagram. I put all my shows on Instagram in the link tree, the bio link.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also have orchidcameron.com. And then you could add me on Facebook as well. I also do little TikTok video. We didn't really get into this, but I also, in addition to being a comic, I do a lot of things for people in recovery with PTSD. So I make little how to get better from PTSD TikTok videos. I know that sounds like the opposite of.
No, that's the good shit. The best TikToks are how to you've been doing this wrong the whole time. Here's how to fix it, or these systemic problems have been affecting us. Blah blah. Like that. That's good TikTok for me.
Yeah, and then my podcast, I've recorded a couple episodes. It hasn't come out yet, so it's in kind of pre-production. Is called Cozy, Comfy, Lovely, and it's a non-triggering podcast for people recovering from PTSD. I just ask people their favorite things, like what's your favorite color, what's your favorite movie, like what are things that are soothing to you, and it actually science shows your brain heals from things that are
traumatic,
comforting or pleasurable. It's like the right soup in your brain, right? It's like the right chemical soup in your brain. Just things that even thinking about something cute affects your physical heart. Isn't that amazing to think about?
That's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. So
I just imagine somebody having a heart attack and being like, think of puppies, think of puppies, think of puppies. Okay,
it kind of is like that. It's kind of like that. There are studies that show your physical heart gets better when you think of something cute. Your brain is very much affected by what you focus on. So rather than telling gruesome stories about what happened to me, I don't need to talk about the triggering events of why I have PTSD. Who cares about that? Let's not talk about that. Let's talk about the amazing thing of how I healed. Like, so
I'm
that's
glad
how you
someone's saying
find me.
that. It's fantastic. Good
What's
stuff.
fantastic?
Every time I talk about my life story, people laugh at me. So it's you can do it.
Listen,
about your life story.
Well, the traumatic parts.
The traumatic parts.
There's a time to say your real story about the bad stuff that happened to you, but like every time you tell your negative story, you chemically relive it. Yeah. And so you can tell your story if it's healing to you, but at some point, retelling your story is not good for oneself. And so I'm not victim blaming. I'm not telling you to shut up. I'm just telling you, when you start to focus on what I'd rather have, what is it that I want? So rather than saying, this is what happened to me, let me tell you that story, I'm like, you know what healed me? Watercolor painting. Because my brain was so messed up, I couldn't watch TV. And my brain was so messed up, I could not read because it affects the comprehension, right? But when I would watercolor paint, it would steady my breathing and it would soothe me and calm me down. And so rather than focusing on, oh, I can't read right now. Are you going to do the I can't read GIF?
Reading is hard.
I can read now again, but
kind of. Okay.
But now, so I'd rather focus on what is healing, what is soothing, what is comforting. So I'm not telling you to shut up about your story, but just really measure within yourself. Am I ready to start going in the direction I want to go?
I gotta give it to you, Orchid. That is the first time in my entire life that I've been told to shut up, and it worked.
I'm not.
Everybody else has failed horribly. That one made a lot of sense.
Shut up.
Listen, I'm cutting a clip of it. I'm cutting a clip of it, and I'm going to play it. I'm going to play it over and over again on the podcast.
Not at all telling you to shut up. I'm like, you do you.
Listen,
whatever
that's a good way of communicating with people, right? And telling people, listen, when you focus, that's a great way of putting it in people's minds, right? If you keep on focusing on the bad and keep focusing on the bad, that's all that is. But when you try and just turn your perspective, it's not about forgetting. It's not about, that's not what it is. It's fill yourself with good, right? Like it's trying and, there's not enough of that, right?
There was a time I was truly in danger. If anyone told me to look on the bright side when I was truly in danger, they were making me more in danger. So I'm not telling you to tell others to look on the bright side. But at the same time, I was like, how do I get to safety? How do I get to safety? How do I make my life safe? You know what I wasn't denying the truth of my situation, but it's focusing on what do I want. Like in surfing, you find the clear path. Like if you're going to hit someone or something, you don't look at what you're about to hit, you'll hit it. Yeah. You look at the clear path. You swerve around it by focusing on what you do want and not what you don't.
That's the same with the high-speed skiers. Like in the Olympics,
exactly.
It's the same. You know what? That's a great point. It's something I always keep on forgetting. But focus on the clear because
on the clear path.
It's kind of like when you look to the side of the road, you'll turn automatically. Why? Because we're stupid. That's just people in general.
Your head looks that way, your body follows.
I do that all the time when I'm trying to check my blind spot, and I'm already veering into the other lane every time. I'm like, oh shit, I'm already in this lane. Fuck.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. Yeah. You're like, we can't even figure out to look somewhere else while going straight. We're that bad. And it's like, hey, this is why it's like I'm a fervent believer in being able to communicate. And I'm like, if you can't tell people what you're thinking or how you're thinking, then they can't say, oh, I see the way you're seeing it. This is why I'm seeing it from this. And you go, oh, well, then we're seeing it from a different perspective. Ha! We can be resolved and it's wonderful. Or we can, pull out knives and cut each other. I'm okay with both. I'm good.
Find us on Twitter @GenerationDan or on Instagram @Generation_Dan. You can find me at Atlas Novak on Twitter or Instagram, or my other podcast @Nexus at Night in those same places. That's about a trading card game. So
fine.
It's a fantastic trading card game. I'm Dino the Genetic Marvel. Google me. If you're not willing to do that, we're not going to work out. Okay? That fair.
You don't even have to Google me. Just Sniffing Glue 22, all platforms.
Yeah, I'm at Orchid Cameron on everything. Yep, at Orchid Cameron, my first and last name.
This has been
wonderful. Right. Well, thanks everybody for watching. Eat 11 servings of bread, and we'll see you next time.
That's how health starts. Bye, everyone.